YouTube Nation, Main Event TV, aka Me TV, aka there was some angry birds in Philly yesterday, man. I was like 5 fights. What's going on, man? And look, before I get started, I have to talk about you Philly fans once again. You can't keep using this win is a win thing. I explained this last week, and you still trying to use it. This is city council members now, all right? City council members trying to use this. And then when I get on Twitter, and I pretty much let you know how it is, and other people start to co-sign me, you get mad. How you get mad? I can't believe they're sending me all these messages. You have to be kidding me. I'll put it like this, all right? You are a city council member. And if you're going to act that way and cry on Twitter over some sports, God knows how you'll act with real issues here in Philadelphia. Clean yourself up. Seriously, it's really that simple. Look, guys, I have to talk about this. The Eagles, they played bad. They did. All right, and I know a lot of people say they had heart, they played with heart. They played with a lot of heart in the second half. I will get to that. In the first half, they played sloppy. They shot themselves in the foot. There were so many problems in the first half. It was ridiculous, all right? You got all these fights. Wide receiver 10, I do not understand what you're doing. Why are you throwing punches at players? I don't get this. I understand that you want to make sure that, no one messes with you. You want to, keep your pride. You cannot throw punches. That is an ejectable offense. If you have those real refs out there, you are ejected from the game, and guess what? You hurt the team. That's what happens, all right? But they let it go. We haven't seen a real fight in the NFL when it comes to punches since Deion Sanders and Andre Rison. We haven't seen this. Am I right? Okay, that was back in how long? In the 90s? So this is ridiculous that we have seen something like this. Now, I will put it like this. That lineman showed him exactly how it should be done. He took his little ass and he swung him to the ground like a little rag doll. That's what it is. And he's got to try to get in his face and everything. And the lineman's like, you really want to do this? And he's like, nah. And then this is what pisses me off because I understand he's going to back himself with players. But a Baltimore coach told him, back away, back up. And if anyone saw that replay, he goes after the coach. And halfway through when he's going towards the coach, he's like, oh, wait a minute. He's a coach. I can't touch him. It is ridiculous. You have to get this team under control. You cannot sit here and fight. And linemen, offensive linemen, I want to talk about this, all right? Last season, you sat here and you said, you try to chump Philly fans and try to get all tough with them because they want Andy Reid going. Now, when you have somebody that's your size, you're not that tough, are you? The Ravens showed just how big, how physical they were. They were blitzing straight up the middle and killing you guys like you weren't even there. And you couldn't protect their quarterback. Even the announcers were saying, Michael Vick's been on the ground all day. Yes, because you're not doing your job. On the blind side, on the strong side, straight up the middle, it did not matter. And now it's going to get worse because we have injuries. Understand that this is something that is going to be a problem. In the first half, there were so many turnovers. In the red zone, so many turnovers, all right? You couldn't even shut down, you couldn't stop the clock. You couldn't run out the clock, all right, in the first half, at the end of the first half, and you had some nobody kicker come in and kick these big-ass field goals, and then he starts getting hyped. It was a joke. The fans sat there and booed you off the field in the first half. In the second half, you guys picked yourselves up. I don't know what was said or what was adjusted, in that locker room, but Andy Reid had to say something to you guys, all right? And then you guys started to play. Credit to the defense, because the defense really held it down this week. And I put it like this, Jason Babin, once again, you didn't stop the run on your side. You're too busy trying to be a quarterback killer and trying to go at the quarterbacks and letting runs go right up how do you think they scored that one touchdown? If you watch the replay, right by Jason Babin, he was like, hey, wait a minute, where are you going? That's what happened. All right, you have to stop focusing on the quarterback so much. Trent Cole can only do but so much when he is being doubled on the one side. D'Amico Ryans showed once again why we deserve, why we needed him. And the announcers was crazy because they're sitting here saying Philly fans were trashing D'Amico Ryans when they got him. No, we weren't. Who said we were? I don't understand this. Aren't you happy you got him now? When did this come out? Last time I checked, last season, we needed a linebacker, and he filled that spot beautifully. I don't have a problem with D'Amico Ryans. I don't even know where this is coming from with the media, all right? But it goes to show you that they will say anything to make us look bad, us Phillies fans. Now, I will put it like this, all right? And I say Phillies fans. When I mean Phillies, y'all know what I mean. Eagles, Philly sports all over, all right? Now, I got to talk about this because after the game, because you know what? I know Ravens fans, I've gotten your messages. You said, Eagles fans, you're lucky the refs didn't call certain calls. I'll put it like this, man. Every time you turned around, it was a bad call with the refs. They got booed, 4 times for not spotting the ball right. The one time, the ref went over to the Baltimore Ravens coach and was like, yo, where we spot the ball? And I'm thinking to myself, why are you asking Harbaugh? Why are you asking him? You the ref. You know what I'm saying? Like, it made no sense. They were booed every time they kept misplacing the spot. All right? And then you call a horrible call at the end. Michael Vick's arm clearly goes forward. And you call a fumble? Yeah, I'll put it like this. You wouldn't have made it out the link if you did let that go. It's really simple. These refs don't know what's going on. And what did I tell you guys in the preseason? These replacement refs are going to get trashed on so bad. They're eventually, and you guys said it last night, eventually they're going to blow a big game. And it's going to really impact a team. And that's going to be it. That's going to be the end of it. These refs are just not that good, especially when they called the personal foul on wide receiver 10. It was like, defense on number 10 on the Eagles. And we're like, defense? What's going on here? You know what I'm saying? He play offense. It goes to show you guys that the refs don't know what they're talking about. Ravens fans, Ray Rice came out. Oh, my God. He came out at the end of the game and said, you know, that Eagles players, they play dirty. They hit you at the end of the game and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, isn't this something that's already known? We've been a dirty team since the 90s. So where you been since the Buddy Ryan era? Where have you been, Ray Rice? You know what I'm saying? These players know what's going on. But Ravens fans, don't act like your team are a bunch of angels either, okay? Because you're not. I'm not even going to sit here and say it was a great game, very physical game. It's the best game that I've seen next to, and I'll put it like this, Chicago and Green Bay, because they played last week with a purpose. It was like that as well in this game. I enjoyed every minute of it, no matter who won or lost. It was great. Of course, I'm happy my team won, but we have a lot of work to do, a lot, especially with these injuries coming down the pipe now. Lots of work. Eagles, you have to get it together. These one-point games, I'll put it like this, you cannot make this a habit. You can't. Now, next week, we have the Cardinals. I think that you can destroy the Cardinals after seeing what the Cardinals have done in the last 2 games. But that's what I said last season, too, and look what happened. So even though the Eagles are expected to win the next game, there's always that upset factor. I will be upset in the matter as well. It's crazy the way things went down. I'll put it like this. Oakland, I have to ask you Raiders fans. I said this on Twitter. I'll say it again. Okay? Stop playing. Seriously, stop playing. Because where did you put the real Namdi at? I mean, seriously, this guy's getting burned on one-on-ones. DRC was holding Troy Smith. This is just something that it's unacceptable. If this secondary is going to do well, they have to play better. Namdi is not jamming anyone up in the front. I don't understand this. Like I said, the defense played good, but it didn't play great. Baltimore had their chances to win. Flacco, especially at the end, Flacco overthrew, was it the tight end, which would have gave them a first down and step out of bounds to stop the clock. So I put this on Flacco, and now Flacco's trying to put this on the refs for the second week now, saying it's the refs' fault. Whatever, as far as I'm concerned. I need to move on. Eagles, get it together. What am I on? 7 minutes. Guys, I want to talk about real quick the Chavez Jr. Martinez fight. I told you Martinez would win. I know a lot of you guys saying, but he got knocked down in the 12th. Yes, Martinez outboxed Chavez for 11 rounds, threw more punches, landed more punches, made him look bad, and in the 12th round, he decided to what? Stand and bang with this kid. And I told you that kid was going to rely on power. He knocked down Martinez, but it wasn't enough. He was too far ahead on points, Martinez was. If you knock him down, you have to knock him out. The kid needed a knockout. It didn't work. Simple as that. I'm sorry, but that's how things are. But I have to talk about the biggest thing that has happened this week, and that's the NHL Lockout. Very upset with what's going on. For those who don't know, in the last day of before the lockout, there were no negotiations. Gary Bettman did not want any type of negotiations, and fans started to show exactly their true colors, and they wanted they wanted the NHL, regardless of rivalry, they wanted the NHL to go on. It goes to show you, regardless of rivalry, the passion of the fans, and why Gary Bettman is booed after he presents the Stanley Cup. This guy is a joke. He really is. He needs to be replaced as far as I'm concerned. No way should it come down to this. And because I'm a season ticket holder, guess what? This affects me greatly due to the fact that I've spent thousands of dollars on season tickets for the Flyers. And now, I told you guys before how I wanted the NBA lockout. When there's a lockout, you do not get that money back. It rolls over to the next season. Now, if we have some games before, during the season, those games that have been missed will be credited next season when it comes to price. It is annoying. It's pathetic, and yet the players are still, positive that they want to get this done, and they feel bad for the fans.
I've talked to a lot of people here in Philadelphia, and they're great sports fans, they're great hockey fans, and I think all the support that's been out there has been tremendous.
Best players, we know that losing fans and having any kind of black eye on hockey is not what we want. We're proud of this game. We're proud of where we're at with the game, and we want it to continue. So definitely the fans are big on our mind.
Some players have signed contract extensions, like over in Boston. Other players have decided to go back to their respective countries and play for them. You have to understand that this is not going to get any better no time soon. There's some Flyers players that are being taken down to the AHL so they can stay fresh as well. Bettman, get this done. You cannot sit here and say that, oh, you're going to ignore the Players Association. No, that's immaturity at its finest, especially when you are running a business and you have all these players and all these fans. You cannot do this. It's really simple. Get it done. It's wrong of you to even think that this should come down to another lockout. This is going to be a black eye on the NHL once again. It's bad enough that, a lot of people don't, focus on hockey as it is, okay? And now that you're getting some type of popularity, especially with NBC Sports, in their new channel, or it used to be called Versus, it's starting to get better. So this has to be taken care of as soon as possible. Hopefully we don't miss any games, all right? But guys, I will say I'm done for today. We'll bring you on another sports video later this week. Maybe we'll talk some basketball, get it in, and some other things as well that, some of you guys wanted me to talk about wrestling. I don't know if I'm going to this week because of the pay-per-view. I'll see what happens. And maybe I'll watch some Raw tonight and see what I think about it, and I'll talk about it next, later this week. Anyways, next up on deck, maybe tomorrow, whenever, video game video. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm out.